Hello world, welcome to the channel of the new guy. I'm the new guy. So in this episode of JavaScript function series that we're checking, we're gonna discuss about the filters function. This function is gonna help you to make a subarray of a specific array. So let's say you have an array of different elements and you want to just a piece of that array. With this function you can easily just pass in a callback, as we have seen before. You pass in the callback of the restriction that you want to apply to the elements of that array. So that's gonna make a filter of the information. And as usual, we're gonna cover a few examples. On this specific function, I would like to use an example that it's more like close to an actual what you will actually be doing on a day-to-day basis on a web page or something like that. So that's gonna be our last example. So first let's discuss some simple examples as usual. So let's code. In our first example, what we have, it's a simple array of numbers, of numeric values, and we're gonna use our filter function to just get all those values that are equal or greater than 25. So let's begin by creating a new variable that is going to contain our filter information. Let's name that filter scores, and we're going to use the filter function as discussed. As you know, we have to pass in the callback that's gonna iterate over the array, and we're accessing each element of that array on any variable that we want. So I'm gonna name it just item, and that is we're gonna return. So the item that the condition that we're gonna use in this case, it's gonna be when item is greater or equal than 25. And just as usual, let's check if our filter function is working properly with a simple console log as usual. So this is called filter.as. Cool. So we see our original array had this many elements, but as we pass them through our filter function, we only have all those that we are like filtering using this condition. The second example, we're gonna filter a series of names, an array of names, but I want to return only those names that begins with a certain letter. Let's say, for instance, that I want all the names that starts with the letter A. So let's get into that. Let's use our filter. As you know, we can use arrow functions or regular functions. So I'm gonna return my condition, name. I'm gonna use another helper function from the script for the string object on JavaScript that's called starts with. And let's check it out. Let's see what we have. So it's working fine as we expected. We can pass in another character and it's gonna filter based on that character that we're sending. So for the third example, as mentioned before, I wanted to show you guys something like more real example. So I have this page that simply it's rendering a set of items that shopping list. As you can see right now, my plan is to have this example for several videos. So right now we're only taking care of the part that's filtering the information on the left hand side. And here what we have, it's simply the buttons that you see here. So the search contains the action that it's actually going to filter the information, and we have another button that's show all, so we can just clean the filter and show all the elements as we have right now. We have the including jQuery to make our example more simple to work on. And I'm including jQuery to make it like more and I'm including jQuery to work a little faster, so we can have access to the selectors of the DOM elements and also appending strings into the DOM. So it's just to make it more simple to work. And we have our original array of items, as you can see here on the left. We have it's an array of objects that it only has the ID and the label. And I'm using a third, and I'm using another variable to set up the items that are gonna be filtered afterwards. Right now they are the same, but you will see what I mean in a few seconds. And I have this helper function that it's called render list, which is actually dumping into the DOM our items. That for now it's the entire list, but later it's gonna be our filter list. And this is where we have our both the actions corresponding to our buttons, as mentioned before. We have the search and the show also. We need to start coding the search first. So what we need to do to actually filter the information is grab whatever we're typing in this search box and then use it to pass on to the filter function, and that's gonna filter our original array of objects, and then we need to just refresh whatever we're showing on the DOM. So first step, we need to grab the actual token, which it's gonna be the name that I'm gonna use, and that's this search box that it's called search available items. So I'm using jQuery to get that, and then we just need to filter the information. So the original array, the name of that, it's all items. So I'm using that here, all items dot filter. Okay, so I'm gonna return true only those items. I'm gonna use again the helper method that's called starts with. So whatever item that has the same set of characters at the beginning of the string, they are gonna match and it's gonna return. And and we need to re-render this information as just we did in the first time the page was loaded. So let's check this out, and as you can see, it's working. What we need to do now is make the functionality for our show all button. So in this case it's really straightforward. We just need to make sure that our available list holds all the items from the original list, and render again the actual DOM. So let's test this one more time. So click, and there it goes. The another thing that we can do right now, it's just clean this search box, so the user actually sees that he can do a search again. I mean to say, this may be misleading for the user, so let's take care of that, which is just using jQuery. We can do something like this, and there you go. So let's try another example. Let's look for bread. It's working fine. Let's look for B, and that's it. So that's it. I hope you learned something new. Don't forget to leave your like, and also subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you know whenever I upload new videos. Next time we're gonna continue using this example to see other JavaScript functions that I think are really worth it, so you guys can use it on real examples. So that's it for this one. Bye world.